Did I hear moist or toast?
Moist.
Who's moist?
MoistCritikal, Charlie.
I am unfamiliar, and I'm so
That's
sorry.
Oh my God, Charlie just got hooed.
No. This isn't a who moment. You know what? I'm a little intimidated right now, if I got to be honest with you, because
why?
you are such a successful host. I just want to live up to the standard of which you have set across the internet. So
I'm a successful networker. I think that's the biggest key.
no, you're basically Chris Hansen. All right, not Chris Hansen.
Chris, you mean the one that
the other guy either, because he got canceled.
the guy that got canceled? Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna avoid all that, and we're gonna
let's cut all this out. Let's cut all this
keep
out.
it all in. Keep it all in. This is a very exciting day, just because this is unprecedented on the CouRage and Nadeshot Show. This is my first interaction with a body of work like this and an individual like this. We have Austin filling in for CouRage. He's feeling under the weather. We hope that he does not have the big C. I'm crossing my fingers because I live with him. But Austin, I feel like you're going to fill his shoes better than he could even himself.
Well, look, I respect CouRage tremendously. I think he's one of the best hosts that I've ever come across, and you too, Matt. I mean, don't sell yourself short. I think you're incredible. And you have got great taste too. We have the same taste in music. We've got the same taste in documentaries.
Yeah. World War II.
We're the same person.
Here.
That's right.
But
we're the same
you know
person.
What's great though, Austin? Today is not about our relationship. Today is about CodeMiko, our prestigious guest.
Yes.
I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown. Then I'm going to introduce you, CodeMiko. I'm sorry to keep you on the back burner here for a second, but I just want to make sure I get this right. We got a brief description. Let's run through it. You're a content creator, streamer, and interviewer, but a lot of people would call you a VTuber, one of the first of its kind, if not the first, with over 800,000 followers on Twitch, which is just a daunting, and I mean a daunting number. So congratulations on all that. You joined G4 back in April, and you will, which is a fun fact, which I did not know, is something to be proud of. The only VTube host on broadcast television in the entirety of the United States. G4 returns on Tuesday, November 16th with a special 3-hour live stream on Twitch and YouTube. CodeMiko, how are you today after that long-winded intro? I'm so sorry.
Hi, Matt. Thank you so much for inviting me. That was an awesome intro. I'm really flattered. Thank you.
Of course.
Hi, Miko.
Hi, Austin.
How are you
doing?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say I've been better. I recently got infected by a virus and been feeling a little bit under the weather, but I'm good otherwise. How are you, Austin?
I'm good. There is something going around LA right now. It's running rampant. A lot of people have gotten sick. I got sick at some point in the last few weeks. Matt, did you get sick?
I have not been sick.
Okay, good.
I have not been sick. I got, great immune system, hopefully, right now. So
good.
Now, real quick, hold on, CodeMiko. When you say you have a virus, for me and for Austin, more times than not, we'd go to the doctor, we'd get antibiotics. Is there anything that you can do specifically when dealing with situations and infections like this virus that you're dealing with now?
I just have to say, always renew your antivirus software. Always renew that shit. Otherwise, you're gonna, it's gonna affect you. And I'm just hoping that this goes over real fast because it's not great.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. You know what? I don't even know if my antivirus works anymore on my computer. I gotta, the early days it was McAfee. I don't even know how to pronounce it. And then Norton. I don't even know what they do for computers nowadays. I'm just so used to Macs being impenetrable.
I just went balls out. I don't use any software.
Well, you got Windows Defender by default, Austin, which is great. Right. But I just don't know how up to par Bill Gates and his entire team are now with their firewalls and all the protection that they install on Windows.
I like the iPhones.
Yeah.
I see, look how old I sound. I like the iPhones.
Well, that's what they were always advertised as, right? Early days, iPhone. Apple is basically like, hey, we don't have viruses. Come on over to this side. Yep. I wonder if that's still the case. Like, I know phishing scams exist, but that doesn't have anything to do with Apple software. That's when somebody gets you to click on a link. Is it true that Apple cannot be impregnated with a virus? I don't know. I don't know if that's true anymore. I got to do some research. All right, really quickly, CodeMiko, I know you're feeling under the weather, so we're going to try to make this as painless as possible. Before we get started, though, I have to give a big shout out to our incredible sponsor as I look for this document, because my man, CouRage, normally does this for me, and now I feel like
I would do it for you, Matt, if you gave me I need the rundown.
This is my favorite part, Austin. I don't get to do this when CouRage is here.
Sorry.
Right? And I want to prove to you that I can read.
Okay.
And I can read really well. I feel like I'm in third grade. All the pressure's on. This show is brought to you by Cash App. And if you don't use Cash App, then fuck you. Cash App allows you to own any piece of stock with just $1. Cash App is also Cash App investing is also free to use and free of fees. And if you don't have Cash App, you can download it today and use code Thieves, THIEVES, for $10. And Cash App will send $10 to Gamers Outreach. And so remember to use code Thieves when you sign up. You get $10, and the kids in hospitals that want to play video games, thanks to Gamers Outreach, can do so when they're dealing with long-term treatment in hospitals. It's a great time also to be using Cash App for crypto, because we are on a very good run right now. I saw a tweet earlier today. Anybody to this day who has invested in Bitcoin has now turned a profit. No matter what price point you came into, you have now made more Bitcoin or more money from investing in crypto and Bitcoin in general. So download Cash App and do all these things. We love you, Cash App. Wow.
I love you, Cash App. Wow. Nice job, Matt. Like a fucking natural. Incredible.
So this is going to be pretty incredible, Austin, just because like I said at the beginning, CodeMiko, I've never experienced or really dove into the world of VTubing. I think it's incredibly fascinating, especially with all the talk of the MetaVerse. You know, we've got Zuckerberg changing like their entire umbrella company. We're going to be moving to more augmented reality and virtual reality in the future. Is that something that you realized early on, that you wanted to be the beginning of this next generational wave of like digital entertainment? Or was this you just appeared out of thin air and now you are conscious and hosting things on the internet?
Well, I didn't exactly plan for anything. I just kind of like decided to start, just doing funny stuff on the internet and just, playing with whatever I could play with in like the virtual environment and stuff like that. In terms of like the metaverse and stuff like that, I think it is definitely the future. And in terms of Facebook and their plans, I saw what Zuckerberg was trying to build, and I'm not sure if he can. I don't really have faith that it could be delivered anytime soon, because it was so. The scope is really big. It's actually ridiculously big, and I don't know if Facebook has successfully produced a product that has resonated with gamers or that type of audience just yet. I know Facebook gaming isn't doing the best, and so, if they can't even, do Facebook gaming that great, then how do they expect to do the metaverse? But I might just be being a bit pessimistic. But that's,
no, I think it's a fair question to ask, right? I mean, Facebook has clearly done a lot of things well in its past to get to the point where it's globally recognized almost in every single country on planet Earth. But yeah, there have definitely been some shortcomings. Like when you have an organization that large with so many moving parts and so many different business ventures, I mean, we only get to see too what's publicly forward facing, and I'm curious, they must have had this in the works for quite some time, and it must have been I'm more curious. I would have loved to be on a fly on the wall internally as they were talking about a rebrand, just because I would love to know how many employees Facebook has to date. I know it's got to be in the thousands and the thousands, if not tens of thousands. So how tightly kept that secret must have been. I wonder who had the clearance and what levels of I wonder if like Facebook is like a government organization where you have levels of clearance and you're only in the know. I mean, Austin, you've now worked with a bunch of different platforms. I'm sure YouTube and Twitch and a lot of different entities reached out to work with you specifically.
Oh, everybody, Matt.
Yeah, this is a big deal. Big deal.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of platforms have reached out in the past to work with me.
You're gonna be a TV star.
Maybe, who knows? I don't know.
You better write me
never know.
when you're famous and living in Hollywood, and let me come over to your like roaring 20s parties that you're gonna have.
Speaking of roaring 20s, this is completely random, but I came across an old YouTube video called "Survive the Night," and you were in it.
Oh, Escape the Night.
Escape the Night or whatever it was, and you were in it. And my God, can I just say, Matt, how you weren't immature, but how you have come into your own as a confident, intelligent.
I didn't hit puberty until I was 23. The doctors were very concerned.
Yeah, but look, the aura that you have now is like you're a boss. You're the boss. You are a boss, and you could tell back then you weren't quite to where you are now. Does that make sense?
I appreciate that. Yeah. Hey, man, I've been trying to grow, work on myself. So thank you so much. I'm surprised you stumbled upon that, just because that was like 7 years ago and nobody from my community ever asked about it or even wondered what was happening.
Is it something you want to forget about, or
no, it was a great time of my life. It was really interesting. I got to be like a hybrid actor and then play myself at the same time. They gave us like a character archetype to play and then sort of fit into their production. And it was like this murder mystery show. It was part of YouTube Red, which I don't think they're really making a big push on anymore. But I thought it was really fun at the time. And I think it was a good opportunity for me to try something different, which I always wanted to do. So thank you.
Yeah,
I don't want to make CodeMiko feel like she's living on an island, because this show is all about her. But CodeMiko, I kind of want to jump back into the origins of how you came to be, just because I'll tell you what, sitting in a lot of meetings that I've had in the last 4 years, we've talked to a lot of venture capitalists. Venture capitalists basically here to invest in the future and to find companies before they become a success. And a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, were asking about VTubers, and people were having these theses that VTubers would be the next thing to take over the world. And I would say you would probably have been the most notable so far to make it out, in my mind, just from the rest of the pack. What is the last couple of years been like for you, and then trying to like navigate your community, and with something like CodeMiko and your identity just popping up seemingly out of thin air? Was it difficult for you to start a community, or how did that come to be? Did people just start following along? Were you making news headlines? What do you think started gaining traction for the entertainment that you provide for the internet?
Honestly, it took a while for me to gain traction. I was on Twitch for like around 11 months before people started to actually take notice. But I think that's because I didn't really do any other platform other than Twitch. As soon as I started doing like Twitter, and it was actually a viral tweet that got me noticed. And then the LSF started noticing me, and then I got bigger raids from big streamers, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. When it comes to like VTubing and, a lot of venture capitalists looking for, VTube being like the next big thing. And there are a lot of startups that are being started right now, because VTubing and MetaVerse is like the hot topic of startups, and people are really trying to get into that space. In terms of like content creation, I think that I'm still a very unique VTuber. I haven't really seen any other VTubers that are like me. There's a lot of like anime 2D style, but it's really rare to see anyone that looks similar to mine, or like can move in no similar fashion as me. And I think I would love to see more VTubers that kind of pop up that are similar. And like my creator technician has taken note of the fact that there isn't that many of myself, and has been trying to kind of expand my world a little bit so that I could have some friends inside my actual environment. So but I really hope there's more of me, type of like me, out and growing.
That's super exciting. Yeah, I mean, I just can't imagine what the next 5 to 10 years are going to look like. The guest that we had on before this episode was Mark Rober. He's doing the Team C's project with Mr. Beast, and just a really brilliant human being that knows a lot about a lot of things. And so I was just digging into him. I'm like, hey, what do you think that new world is going to be? What are you think we're living in a simulation? When am I going to be like intergalactic, living on other planets? And so it's funny to hear you talk about VTubing and the fact that, you know, you're aware of so many new dollars and new faces trying to get into the space that you've sort of like helped pioneer. So kudos to you. It's not easy to see trends and then act on them. But it sounds like you've really found your own community, found your own path, and I think that's pretty amazing, especially on Twitch. You talked about 11 months being the timeline for it, how long it took for people to start realizing like what you were up to and how different it was from everybody else.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways you are the blueprint for some people that are trying to make it on Twitch. There's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people that have created accounts and now try to stream, but it's just so hard to actually become noticed or get a little bit of fame, I would say, because I think that's the ultimate goal for a lot of people. They want to make a living from it. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Miko, was your goal coming out of this, was it to make a living off of it?
Yes. And also try to make more of myself. And so it's not just me. There could be like other VTubers out there that are kind of like me, and have them be in like the same environment.
Austin, you do lover host, right?
I do.
Are you? I wonder how long it takes for there to be a full VTuber lover host. You know what I mean? I mean, that seems like the direction we're trending in right now.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I actually had a lover host way back when, with Project Melody, which was in the, I think Project Melody is in the adult entertainment industry. I had her on as the main guest of a lover host, which was one of the more interesting concepts. The difference is I think what you're alluding to is an entire cast of VTubers. Yeah. This was just one VTuber with a cast of non-VTuber participants. Now, I believe CodeMiko has also been featured on my show as a contestant before.
I almost won.
And she almost won.
No way.
Yeah. So she's been on. So we've definitely, fooled around with it a little bit. And it's definitely something that's compelling and interesting. But I too wonder when something like there'll be enough VTubers out there to create an entire show that's compelling surrounding just VTubers. Miko, do you think that how far off do you think we are until that happens?
I mean, we could do it now. Like that's the thing. Like you could do it Ready Player One style, where you, Austin, go into like a MetaVerse, and then you have your own VTuber, and then all the contestants are in the same room. It's possible now. I would say.
Well, looks like she's come up with my next hit show. Lover host featuring.
I don't know if it'll be a hit. I don't think.
Why not?
I'm sort of all in right now. I think it would spread like wildfire. There's just so many people that don't know that this is happening on the internet, and I find it so fascinating. So, CodeMiko, throughout the last year or so, it sounds like you've done quite a bit on Twitch. You've done interviews as well. Is there any moment from interviews that you've had or have been a part of that you remember the most, or were like the most polarizing, or you remember them were some of your favorite memories of these interviews that you've been? I'm just curious, like what the tempo of these things are normally like for you.
Yeah, I mean, I actually stopped doing my interview shows for a while ago, but like my favorite times on Twitch have been during my interview shows, because that is the time when I did grow my channel and actually got noticed for other things. But the thing that really made like those times special though is that I was very in my own island and didn't know a lot of the streamers and didn't know like who, like the lore of Twitch streaming and like, the lore of some of the bigger streamers that a lot of the other people know, like the memes and stuff like that. And so when I was going in there interviewing, it was really like a naive video game character who had no idea of who these people are. And that kind of gave a lot of innocent moments of just me asking questions that normally you wouldn't ask them, but you do, and it gets really awkward responses and just a lot of funny moments like that. And I kind of miss that, like just being very green and not knowing what's going on. And it just provided for a lot of opportunities of like good jokes and humor.
Oh, of course. Beauty in the innocence,
Yeah.
I actually love it. Ignorance is bliss a lot of times. And it sounds like you came in with the right intentions, though. We're in here to learn and try to like embody the community or let it, consume you so that you can understand the world that you were jumping into. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Now-
I mean, like, sorry, Austin?
No, please finish.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, a lot of the questions actually ended up being a little bit insulting, but it was okay because they understood that I didn't understand who they were. So like I could get away with questions that were like a little bit rude.
I wonder who you have offended the most.
Like for example, when Moist came on my show, I had no idea who he was. But I acted like I kind of knew, but I didn't really. So I would ask, I remember this one clip that actually like blew up was when I just asking about his height, and I didn't know he was 5'6", and I kind of made fun of that. Yeah,
I don't know, Josh, he's catching strays out here.
But like absolutely unknowingly, But yeah, little moments like that I miss.
So go ahead, Matt.
No, you've been trying to hear for a minute.
I know.
Did I hear moist or toast?
Moist.
Who's moist?
MoistCritikal, Charlie.
I am unfamiliar, and I'm so sorry.
Oh my God, Charlie just got hooed.
No. This isn't a who moment. All right, I'm gonna Google right now. Go ahead, Austin. We've cut you off too many times.
No, it's fine. Miko, you mentioned that you in the beginning, a lot of the charm came from you not knowing these people very well. You've been on Twitch for a little bit longer now. You start to know these people. You probably consume a lot more content. What have you done to try to maintain that same charm with your interviews?
Well, honestly, you can't, at some point, I have to kind of grow as a character, right? And I can't pretend like I don't, when I brought Charlie back, I couldn't pretend like I didn't know that he was a Twitch streamer, and like he had some things like he collected, sex toys and dildos and all this stuff, like back in the first interview, it was like such a surprise that he would do these things. And, I would ask like, why? And like get a real reaction from because Twitch streamers are kind of strange. I mean, they're great, but they're they all of them have each little quirks, right? And the initial interview was like a good reaction to like finding out who they are as a person. And now when I do interviews, it's more like, hey, how's it going, friend? Like, it's more like a catch up rather than like a first time interview thing. And that's kind of why I started to move away from interviews and do more like just like a regular streamer, watching videos, reacting, playing games with friends and things like that.
It's so interesting that you've talked about that. You described your initial come up in Twitch and what you did then, and then now you're describing what you're moving into, and that just, I think, what you're saying is, what you're speaking to is the fact that you have to continue to evolve on this platform, and I have no doubt that you'll continue to do that. You're incredibly innovative. That's how you broke through to begin with. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. You got to continue to innovate. The things that we did or that I've done aren't no longer as popular as they once were. You have to come up with new things and constantly innovate. Do you feel that pressure to do that, Miko?
Yeah, I actually, in my, a perfect world vision, I really wanted to just do shows, like do my interview show and then move on to doing either podcast type things or game shows, or technician creates VTubers for specific Twitch streamers, like ideas that would be more like produced as a show. But I realized that it's just like it's kind of unsustainable when you're trying to stream all the time. And I realized like I strategized it in a way that obviously kind of didn't work out for me. And then I realized I kind of just enjoy building my own community and, just chilling with my chats, that I started to, dabble around just being like, like a streamer, like, doing the whole parasocial relationship stuff.
Yeah, it's as good a time as ever, though, just because, to Austin's point, I've seen every evolution of every Twitch meta. I mean, I've been on the fucking platform since Justin TV, and I'm still pretty one-dimensional. I don't do anything else besides play video games, but I think this is as good a time as ever to just building a community in general. I mean, the most popular streamers now are all just chatting. I mean, that's all it is. You have people that play video games. Obviously, I'm not like saying it's going away and it's never coming back, but just chatting and just being yourself and interacting through different, avenues on the internet seems to be the hot topic. Like if I go to browse right now, let's see the number one category. I'm going to go high to low. It's just chatting. I mean, there's 362,000 people watching. Anybody and everybody just do something that isn't video games. And I find that interesting in general.
I mean, with that said, though, I am stalling. If I'm completely honest, I am stalling because in the back end, a technician is making something, and it just will take a longer time for like her visions to actually come true, because the shows that she wants to create is actually more of like, I want to actually be able to bring in VTubers and have them be in my environment for the next shows that I want to do. And so if that kind of stuff, though, needs like a lot of development time. And so she's just been kind of doing a lot of low lift content and letting me do whatever I want for the time being, while, she has her team put together and, developing all the things behind the scenes.
Yeah, these show type formats, they take a long time to make sometimes. And not only do the concepts themselves take a long time to make, but to cast for them is the most burdensome part of putting the shows together. Miko, I'm sure you're very familiar with when you have to schedule your interviews. The interview is not the easy part. It's getting people to come on to your interviews, which I'm sure they were willing to do, as I did one of your interviews, and it was amazing and awesome. But still, you're dealing with busy content creators, so it's super challenging and it's super time consuming. I love the way that the meta is going on Twitch, obviously, because I've always hosted shows on Twitch. And I love the trajectory. I've always said that I think that non-gaming content will eventually be the center of the platform and the most popular thing on the platform. And I'm very happy to see it sort of come to fruition. I just think that it's more, I love gaming. Don't get me wrong. I grew up on video games. I have nothing against gaming. I just think that it's
hate gaming. Austin. No, I know it. I know it the way you're talking right now.
No, I'm not a gaming hater. Believe me, I played lots of games growing up. That's how I got into Twitch, was gaming, right? But non-gaming content is, I think, obviously more relatable across more demographics and cultures. Actually, hold on. Actually, I'm going to eat my words on that. I disagree, actually, in some capacity. I think gaming unites people. I think I just described what gaming does, and it unites people across gender and culture and everything. But what I mean is that I just think that lifestyle content in general is just more relatable. Gaming across the board is very, very relatable, but like individual games aren't as relatable. You know what I mean? Like on an individual basis, like Nadeshot, you may like Call of Duty, right? And then, Miko may like World of Warcraft, and I might like RuneScape or something like that. We all unite under gaming, but when it comes to consuming content, you may not want to watch a Call of Duty stream. You may not want to watch a WoW stream. So it just makes sense to me why just chatting has such a wide appeal.
Yeah, for sure. Miko, while you've been on Twitch, we're talking about the landscape of Twitch, what it's become, what it used to be, all these different things. Have you ever been banned from Twitch? Have you ever ran into any issues? Obviously, being new to the platform, are there any things that you've had to deal with, controversies of sorts?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I think it's you're only a Twitch streamer if you've been at least banned once. I think almost every Twitch streamer has received, well, okay, that's not true, but a lot of Twitch streamers have received bans, and it's just a slap on the wrist. Don't do that again. Some of the some of them has definitely caught me off guard, but I find them more funny than anything.
Yeah, I mean, and Jack,
it's not funny. Obviously, it's not funny.
No. I don't think anyone would keep it that way.
No, but just looking back, like hindsight wise, looking back, I find it funny.
I've talked about this before with CouRage, who's not here. Austin is skinny CouRage today. More times than not, getting banned on Twitch is a good thing, just because it brings more attention to what you've been doing. If people weren't paying attention then, they definitely are now. I mean, think about like the most prolific bans that we have ever seen. We had Tfue, we had Dr. Disrespect. He's not on Twitch entirely now, but before there were a lot of moments in Twitch's history where bans came in, and then 5 days later they come back and their stream is 2x, if not bigger. And it just seems to be, I think Twitch is actually a great example, though, that similarly to YouTube, we've seen it in a lot of different timelines, a lot of different evolutions. People just love drama. People love to be around drama. People love to talk about controversy. I think that's how humans are by nature in most cases. And it's something that's sort of like frowned upon nowadays. I mean, obviously, I don't want to be on Twitch like perpetuating drama and bullshit and people, a lot of heightened emotions, but I think the internet, more than anything, has been like a telling sign, just like the mass hive mind of people. They love drama. They love to tear people down. They love to build people back up. It's like people are infatuated in most cases. I mean, just look at Twitter and social media in general. When something bad happens or somebody makes a bad decision, it's like the entirety of the internet and the entire world is beaming down with a fucking 12 gauge on your forehead. It's insane. So I find it fascinating just to like watch all these things unfold. And I'm curious how the internet will be interpreted like 20 years from now in comparison to where we're at today, where, things just spread like wildfire so quickly. We're all connected, but maybe at a cost in some ways.
Everybody loves to give their opinion on everything.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be the smartest person in the room. And what better place to be than on the internet, chiming in on whatever drama is occurring. Miko, how many times have you been banned?
I've been banned 3 times.
3 times.
Shit,
of all those bans. Yeah.
I gotta get banned.
You gotta do something crazy.
Miko, what did you get banned for?
Well, so the first ban was because I had this outfit made for me, and I thought it was really cool. It was like a dragon warrior outfit. Like something that you would see in like an RPG game, right? And it had really cool armor and like leather jacket, but it showed too much pelvis. It was like everything was pretty much covered except for like a left pelvic region, and I got banned for inappropriate attire.
Was it nudity?
No. It was just clothes.
Oh, come on. I'm sorry. Twitch, come on.
It was
come on. I mean, what's your most ridiculous one, though, in your opinion?
That's pretty ridiculous.
I mean, that was pretty ridiculous, but my most ridiculous one was I love this one. This is the D-pick one. It was where basically technician programmed something that she thought was hilarious, where if someone donates $1, a letter D would pop up on my phone. And the joke was that haha, you sent Miko a D-pick. But like the D-pick also like had RNG, so like the letter D would be like in different sizes, and then they would get like a response in the chat of like how big their letter D was in inches.
Look,
I thought it was hilarious.
Look, I'm sorry, guys. Look, I've not been very outspoken on Twitch policy in terms of like what they ban for, but come on. Come the fuck on. What are you, 2? Like not you, Miko, but like what are you, like it's a joke. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's very frustrating to me when little things like that are clearly a joke, clearly just for fun, are resulting in potentially career ramificating a word?
Yeah. I mean,
No.
Ramifications is a word.
Yeah, so potentially having career ramifications. There you go. Not ramificating. But it frustrates me. Bless you.
I mean, I think the thing that was the funniest about that incident was that they banned me for soliciting pornography.
Oh
That was the reason.
Turn up.
Oh my God.
And I that one was the most shocking one.
Did they ever take anything back on that, or did they just?
No.
Bro, dead ass, like Twitch sometimes is more strict than a Catholic church. It's insane.
Yes.
It's
wild.
You know what, dude? They don't have any consistency in their bans and their rulings, right? It's like one time they'll come down heavy, another time they'll come in light, another time they won't ban at all. And then they'll have a ruling that completely contradicted an experience that another streamer had. So I think they have done a poor job as they've expanded and their company has grown, and Amazon acquires Twitch. I think things fell through the cracks, and I think the audience noticed that. And it's tough too, because it used to be like this incredible place that people would spend their time and they absolutely loved it. The actual atmosphere and culture around Twitch was contagious. Everybody wanted to be a part of the platform and everybody loved to be there. But it's one of those scenarios where, even though it's cliche to say, but you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. It's really funny. Like, I think it probably was like 3 to 4 years ago when I saw people started like outwardly denouncing Twitch, and people started getting a lot more aggressive with their opinions and their thoughts about how Twitch was handling certain circumstances. And nowadays, I just feel like, Twitch, especially post acquisition, everybody sees it as like the corporate overworld or overlords. And it's not really this like community built website that it used to be when it was a startup. And these things happen. But yeah, I definitely think that they need to take a real long look at some of their policies and get on the same page company wide to make sure bans like that don't happen. I mean, a VTuber literally got banned for soliciting pornography. I don't know the circumstances, but in general, that sentence just blows my mind. So I think that's pretty ridiculous.
I do have to say though that there hasn't been any weird bans lately. Like it's been a long time, like months, since I've heard of anything that seemed really like, whoa, that shouldn't have happened. Because I think at some point it was like you hear it every other now and then, like Forsen got banned for his horse thing, and like some ridiculous ban stuff that goes around. But I haven't heard of anything like that for a while. So maybe they are doing some stuff.
I'm so sorry, by the way. I think some of the most ridiculous bans on Twitch are when like somebody accidentally shows animals having sex. I think that is the most insane shit I've ever seen. One of my good friends got banned. He left the room to go get some beer, and 2 wiener dogs jumped on the bed and started fucking, and he got banned for that. He got, I mean, they were not fucking, they were humping each other. They were doing what dogs do,
I would love to see that. I want to know how wiener dogs actually breed. You know what I mean? That's got to be really difficult for them. Just with the surface area and how long it is. I bet they must have pretty good balance on all fours.
Yeah. I mean, I don't recall the video in particular. I don't really, I didn't analyze. I didn't really look too deeply into the video. I don't even know if I think the dog was riding one from the side. I don't think it even worked. I don't even think they knew how it worked, but it was more of a dominance thing, But anyway, nonetheless, I think that unless somebody's out there blatantly watching animal porn, like, then okay, I get it. But if you actually,
are you trying to tell us something, Austin? Did something happen to you that you need to share?
No,
porn bans. Like, you make it sound like it's happening every single fucking day.
No, but it's happened before, right?
Riddled with animal pornography bans.
No, I don't.
That was the most specific example I think you could have ever given any of us, and it was the most unrelatable.
I think though,
That's an all-timer right there.
that animal, look, it's happened very little, but this times that has happened, it's stuck out to me. One was the Forsen one, and the other one was my friend. And I think it's happened several times, right, Miko? Back me up on this.
I don't know where I don't really go looking for it, Austin. So
Well, I don't want this insinuation like I consume animal porn. That's not what I do. What I'm just trying to say is you know what? Let's move on.
I'm here for. I was actually gonna. I would love to hear you dig yourself out of that one, but we should move on.
Yeah.
You know, Miko, there's so many questions that I have. Do you have a good relationship with your technician, or is there anything that CodeMiko likes to do that the technician doesn't like, or the technician likes something and Miko doesn't want to do it? How has that balance been struck?
Well, I know that she likes to torture me for money.
Ooh,
So that's
Oh my.
yeah, I think like the thing that makes the most amount of money from my Twitch channel is when people like either throw a ball in my face, or they make me explode, or they kill me in various ways, or so that's where she makes the most money. So I don't think I have the best relationship.
Does she pay you well?
Pay?
Wait, you guys are getting paid? I'm not getting paid for this. Are you guys?
I don't get paid. Do you get paid?
Austin, are you getting? I'm definitely not getting paid.
Well, maybe we should move on.
I have so many questions. I just don't know what I'm allowed to ask. If you could bring on any celebrity or interview any celebrity. I know you said you don't do the interviews much anymore, but if there was any specific real life celebrity or internet personality that you would like to work with or meet or just have a conversation with, is there a number one answer that you come back to quite a bit? Have you thought about something like that before?
Yeah, I mean, we are going to bring back the interview show through G4, so I'm really excited about that. And in terms of like number one celebrity, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, wow.
Yeah, if I could pick anyone, it would be Elon Musk.
So you mentioned
CodeMiko to all the Teslas worldwide. You could be the new Siri for Tesla. Miko, the last question that I have for you, and I'm so sorry that you had to do this while you were sick. You know what? I'm going to call up John McAfee. I think he's dead, but I think his program still lives on. If you need help with any antiviruses, you let me know. But you came on TBH with JHB, and we all at 100 Thieves really appreciate the fact that you did that. How was that experience? What would you say is more awkward, JHB or a fellow VTuber friend that you might have?
Oh, JHB.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. JHB.
Saw that coming from a mile away.
Yep. Yeah.
Did he make you uncomfortable at all?
Did he make me feel uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm actually just as awkward as he is, even though he's slightly more awkward. But it was good. We were just kind of like an awk fest, and the same energy was comforting, because it's great talking to somebody that is just as awkward as me. If there was someone that's just like really confident and I'm the awkward one, that's when there's like too much contrast and you feel really awkward and uncomfortable. But JHP was great, and he's I really enjoyed that interview. I really enjoyed that interview. What has he been up to these days?
He's a janitor now. We did a video with Lost X. You can see him in his new occupation here at 100 Thieves. He mops the floors and makes sure the snack cabinet is in stock. And I sent him into the urinals and the stalls right as I leave. He did a great job though. He bought us a candle for the men's bathroom. It's more of a fall scent. It was a really nice touch. So he was a damn good intern, but he's an even a better janitor now. We love him very much. CodeMiko, I know that this was all over the place. I apologize. This was my first time interviewing a VTuber, so I didn't want to step on anybody's toes or ask the wrong questions. And I know you've been, barreling through this thing even while dealing with a virus. And I just want you to know that we appreciate it very much. Austin, thanks for coming on the show. CodeMiko, thank you for being here. If you ever want to do this again, you let us know when we're all feeling able-bodied and virus-free, and maybe we'll, make some fireworks. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the CouRage and Nadeshot Show. Big shout out to Cash App for supporting us and making the lights turn on and the computers run. You guys are very good people. Go download it. Use code Thieves, THIEVES. Gamers Outreach, $10. You get $10. Kids get play video games in hospitals. If you don't have Cash App already, you're a sick fuck and you hate kids. And you definitely love sicknesses. So thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all have a fantastic day. And the CouRage and Nadeshot Show. We'll see you later. Goodbye.
See you guys later. Thank you so much.